Today we are digging into basic core stability and strength. Your core is so much more than just your abs. You have your abdominals, of course, and 4 layers of your abdominals, right? You've got your transversus wrapping around from the back to the front like a corset. You've got your internal obliques again wrapping from the back to the front in this kind of upward fashion. Around with your external obliques around from the back to the front in this kind of V connection, and your rectus abdominis, the most superficial one, also the 6-pack abdominal, running from the base of your breastbone to your pubic bone. Then you've got your psoas, which is connected along the front of your spine, connecting with those discs and those vertebrae from your diaphragm to your leg. You've got your diaphragm, which is part of your breathing apparatus here, that is separating your heart and lungs from your viscera. Then you've got your pelvic floor, which is that connectivity at the base of your pelvis between your pubic bone, your tailbone, and your 2 sits bones. And then you've also got all of those beautiful deep spinal muscles. And your core is also how all of those function together to create healthy spine. So what we're going to do today is chest lift and tabletop legs. And it's going to be very simple movement, very small movement, but that's part of the challenge, is how much control and stability can you keep there? So let's look at a few do's and don'ts. Before I jump into that though, I want to have one little caveat saying that if you have diastasis recti, which is a split of that rectus abdominis, where you might have a little like hernia basically, you have a little separation of that, maybe postnatally, maybe you did a bunch of weightlifting, bearing exercises really created some intra-abdominal pressure, any of that where you feel like your belly cannot even come back, right? Every time we do this, the belly's pushing out. If that is happening for you, make sure that you may not even take the head up, or if you take the head up, it's only as much as you can keep the belly in, and only do one leg at a time. Always keep one leg on the ground as you're building the strength back up until you feel very safe and secure with those underlying layers of your abdominal wall to stabilize. All right, let's look at a few tips and tricks. So a lot of times when we do this, we start to lift the leg up and the ribs lift, right? But what we're going to do today is lift the head and chest up. So when I lift my legs up, I want to make sure that this doesn't happen in my back, but that I'm really nestling those ribs back. But then another cheat is that we'll start to rock the pelvis. So that rocking of the pelvis means my lumbar spine is now weight bearing, and I don't necessarily want that. So what I want to find first is that you know where your neutral is, right? So find the weight through your sacrum, weight and width. Just feel like gravity is dropping it down there. And then the space between your pubic bone and your navel and your 2 hip bones are really level, as if you're balancing a cup of coffee there. Then to lift your head up, really support your head in your hands and don't feel like you have to yank your neck up. What I want you to do is really feel like you're waiting for these front ribs to slide together and down towards your pelvis, and the back ribs or the back of your ribs, I should say, because it's all one rib cage, is going to push back into the mat, so that you feel this slide in and down as you feel this go back, right? Then sometimes what happens is a little cheat of the pubic bone starts to come up towards your face. That's that rectus abdominis wanting to dominate from there rather than from this attachment. So what you're going to do is just lean the pubic bone down and really make sure that you've got this release in the crease of your hips, right? Cup of coffee balance there. Don't burn yourself. All right, let's get moving. We're going to start with just the chest lift. Interlace the hands, support the head in the hands, and bring the elbows a little into your peripheral vision so that your shoulder blades are broad and connected on your ribs. You're going to keep the tail heavy. You're going to breathe in. As you exhale, draw the belly and the waist in and hinge or drop the ribs down. So it's like you're rolling through the ribs, sliding the back ribs back and the front ribs down. And I'm just going to hold there and see if I can breathe not just into my belly, but into the back of my body, so that I'm using this expansion into the back and sides of my body to help me stay up. And then releasing back down. Take a big breath in for nothing here. Exhale, rounding up again. Really stable in my hips and my pelvis as I just control my ribs. Inhale, coming back down. Exhale, we're gonna hold in this next one. Exhale, sliding the front ribs down and the back ribs back to be a little anchor for my head to just float up. Holding that level. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna press into your right foot as you float your left knee up, hinging in the hip. Lower that left foot down. Inhale. As you exhale, you watch this quadrant of your ribs to your pelvis and keep it stable as you float a leg up. And lowering down. Breathing in. As you exhale, float a leg up. Let the head rest into your hands and don't worry about coming up too high. Exhale, drawing the waist and the belly in, floating the other leg up and down. Exhale, draw the belly in. Maybe at the very end of your exhale when you feel like you've really pulled all that in, then the leg just magically floats up. So the leg feels both heavy and light at the same time. Float the other leg to join so both legs are up, and we're going to hold this for 3 deep breaths. Breathing in, exhale, drawing the belly in, sliding those front ribs down. Get the low belly active as well. Inhale. Exhale, drawing all that in so it feels like all of this is just kind of weaving in and back, right? Remember, if your belly is poking up towards the ceiling, take a leg down. Just do one leg at a time. Breathe in. Exhale, drawing the belly in, drawing the belly in, drawing the belly in. At the very end of your exhale, lower one foot down, then the other foot down. Relax, release. Do a little knee sway. And come up to sitting. Your core has been awakened and strengthened. So I'd love to hear from you as you explore this exercise today. How much stability are you finding? Are you feeling stronger? Are you feeling longer and more stable, right? Or are you feeling like, I can only do one leg at a time? Maybe your head stays down half the time. Everyone's at a different level, so I always want you to go at your own pace. But let me know what you find this week playing with this exercise in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me, and until next time, keep moving.